so that's good. So I'm gonna let this thing drain for a while. I might come out and take the pan off too and let that drip. I got a extra large size turkey pan here that's definitely gonna be able to handle the fluid. It'll also give me an idea of how much fluid came out. So I have a few of these, so what I'm gonna try, and I think it'll work, is I'll just get one of my other pans filled up to the exact same height, then pump the transmission fluid back into the transmission once I swap the valve body. I think that might be the easiest way of doing it, but if not, then there's a couple different routes I could go. So I haven't been underneath this thing for a while, but you can see my heat wrap. That's a carbon fiber dry shaft. I had it done like about, I guess a little over a year ago. That is good for some gains as far as like, it makes the car feel lighter. I don't know if it gives you any, helps you on your ETA and the quarter mile, but it definitely looks pretty cool, and definitely makes it feel more torquey. And then I got my exhaust here, the rest of it. Those are some knockoffs I put on it. I was gonna test out. I get it tuned before COVID hit, so I haven't had it tuned with those off yet. So probably later this year I'll do that. But so far so good. Oh, it's been a while since I've been taking a video of this thing. Right now it's on jacks. It's got my stock rims on there, the 18s, which I like. So this is part 2 of my video. So what you're looking at here is my valve body that I got back from IPT. It's been reworked to hopefully shift a lot quicker. We'll find out shortly. For these valve bodies, you have to make sure they're the same year, make, model, manufacture date. Otherwise, there might be some incompatibility with the ECU. So, I just got done dropping the pan. So, now this pan wasn't dropped before when it was, when I had it flushed. So, the metal here looks about the same as the used one I purchased. So, I'm not going to say it's any better or worse, but probably looks like average for, vehicle that almost has 100,000 miles on it. So, I guess that's not so bad. I'll just take a look further into that. So, right now, this is where I'm at. Got the pan off. I'm gonna let it drain a little bit more overnight here. I guess I could say this video is how to do this without making a big mess in your garage. So oversized turkey pan, no drips, anywhere on the concrete. So even getting the pan off. Oh, the secret to that was, what I did was I left the 4 corners of the bolts loose. And once I was able to get to the drop, I then tilted it on this side. Can't see my hand. Tilted it more on this side so it could drain a little bit more. And then I got the pan off. Then I tilted the pan into the turkey pan. So that's what all the fluid. I did run the car. I went to the trip to get some stuff at Walgreens, and yeah, barely made a dent in this so far. So I'm gonna put that amount of fluid back in. I do have some new fluid, ATF fluid that's compatible. Throw it back in there. Ultimately, I'm gonna put Matic S back into this thing, but for now, that's good. I did have to remove the oxygen sensor bracket. It's not too hard. I used a breaker bar to get it off, but it wasn't that big of a deal. But it's really hard to get to the bolts without having to do that. So I'm gonna let it drip overnight. These things have a ton of fluid in them, by the way. Before I sent my valve body over to have it redone, I let it sit for like a week and it was still draining fluid out of it. So anyway, that's an update. Tomorrow we'll see if I can get it swapped. Well, got it out. So I am glad I bought 3 gallons of fluid, because this is definitely not 5 quarts. I filled up my other pan already, and now that I got this out, it's also got fluid coming out from underneath it as well, just draining through. So at this point I might be doing a whole, not necessarily a flush, but pretty damn close to it. I'm guessing I'm probably gonna have to use all 3 gallons of ATF. I wish I would just bought Matic S at this point. Other option would be to put this oil back in, but probably won't do that since it's semi-used. It probably has about 10k miles on it. It's still pretty good shape. But if I'm running a little low, I might borrow some of it. But yeah, it's out. So there's the bolt sequence to get it out. I basically just took a picture of what my existing valve body, and just climbed underneath my car and slowly took out the bolts and left a couple to hold it in when it did drop. The tricky part is there's a can't really see it very well, but yeah, you can. There's the plug. There's a plug here, and there's a little pin on the back on the other side that you have to undone first to get that thing to come out. Actually, it didn't come out. Yeah, it's still. I might just leave it there. Actually, you can pull this whole thing out. It makes it a little easier to maybe. I might just leave it because I think it might be easier with it in place to plug it back in and put this thing back up there, but I'll have to play around with that theory a little bit. The other option is to clip it back on and then kind of push it up inside and then pull it through, but I guess I'll figure that out in a few minutes here. But yeah, overall it's going pretty good. One wire harness you gotta undo there as well, but we'll see. So far I've used 2 big turkey pans. I'll be going on my 3rd. I'm gonna swap pans again, you know, pull this one out and just let this kind of drain while I put the new valve body in. Alright, take another break. Making progress. So this is where I'm at currently. So I got a pump. I got this on eBay, and I got these. Well, this is supposed to be for filling the transmission fluid back in. It's supposed to go into the filling hole, but Amazon sent me the wrong one 3 times. So the correct part number is on here, the 7425 ATF filler, but the part inside is for a Audi, and in the part number has the sticker. As you can see, there's a sticker over top of another sticker. That's the 7416. So 3 times in a row I got the wrong part. So what I ended up doing here is I just kind of fabricated some stuff I had around, and I made a fitting here. But the thing that sucks though, I'm gonna have to hold it in place while I fill up the tranny. So we'll see how that goes. That's gonna be fun. So this is not a 5 quart thing. This turned out, after I let it drain overnight, I have to say I might be looking at more like 12 quarts. I do have 12 quarts. I bought some extra just in case, you know, for some reason I ended up needing a lot more than I needed, and I got 3 gallons of ATF Max Life from Walmart. It's compatible with the G Now that, you know, I didn't know I was gonna lose that much fluid, but if I was gonna do this again, I'd probably go with Manda gas since I had to pretty much drain a lot of fluid out. Almost didn't have any spills anywhere. I ended up spilling a little bit. The pan ripped on the bottom from the weight of the valve body and got me. So I got the valve body in, and I'm on my third pan. It's in. That's kind of a pain in the ass doing it upside down. I'll tell you that. It's much easier when you're not trying to hold it in place and align everything, and then trying to figure out how the 14 bolts go in, because they're all different lengths, and one's like special bolt that has to go in a certain place to align everything. It's kind of trial and error. I just used the long bolts. There's like I think there's 6 of them, and I got it into basically where I needed to be, and used the 4 long bolts to kind of hold it in place temporarily, and then went around and put the other bolts where they're supposed to go, trial and error. And the way you can tell that you have it in the right place is that they'll stick out about a 1/2 inch all around. Once you have that configuration, plus you got the 1 bolt that's the alignment bolt, then you know you're in good shape. So I hand tightened them all down first, and then I took the alignment bolt, tightened that down, not to a point where I was torqued all the way where it was supposed to be, but just to a snug. And then I went around and torqued everything, all the bolts, to 80 inch pounds. So that's where we're at. I think I'm gonna plug in my laptop and plug in the wiring harnesses temporarily, just to see if I get any error codes or anything like that, or if the tranny can't communicate before I fill this thing up. Well, so much for not making a mess in the garage. So last night I was pretty much done. I just wanted to run it one more time, heat it up to about 100 degrees, and see if the fluid was coming out the fill-up tube, or the fill-up area, or whatever you want to call it. And I thought I had it, and I left the filler in last night, and apparently when the car cooled down, all the transmission fluid came back into the pan, and it started siphoning the fluid out of the car into the 5-gallon jug there, and it started spilling over. So it made this massive mess underneath the car. So I'm gonna have to get some sand and, you know, dry that out pretty good when I'm done with all this. But yeah, it totally sucked. And then it kind of left me at where I just didn't know how much fluid came out of the car. So what I did is I ended up just kind of, you know, I warmed the car up pretty good, and then I basically emptied it out again, you know, into my extra pan, and started the process over again. This time I took a little bit more time getting this thing leveled. Since I was doing it again, I don't want to ever have to do it after all this. So that's why you see the extra jack is just kind of lifted up like a 1/4 of an inch here. And I have another jack over here that is lifting it up just slightly. Same thing, about a 1/4, maybe a 1/2 inch up. So the bottom of the pan is completely level. You know, I used a level this time to make sure there's no question this will be the last time I'm doing this for now. So anyway, that was freaking fun. It was like a what the fuck morning for sure. I even had like a dream about that happening, and I didn't get up last night to, you know, go check, and I should have. I didn't think it really siphoned out like that, but it did. Yeah, so don't leave your shit connected. It will siphon out. So lesson learned there, you know, physics. So anyway, now I got the plug in there, so I can do that again. So fun times. So I figured out how many quarts it came out of this thing. So there was definitely 6 liters. Sorry, liters, not quarts. 6 liters that came out. So that's not including the pan that ripped.
with some fluid there, and then what came out of the valve body. But it was probably like 6.5, I would say, liters total that came out of the car. So right now I had like a unknown amount that was in there. So at least in the pan, so I put 3 quarts in, and you know, I went through the process of putting in drive, putting in reverse, putting in drive, putting in reverse, waiting about 30 seconds each time, and checked, and it wasn't leaking at all. It looked like it might have been a little bit possibly up pretty close to the drain hole, but I wasn't sure. So I put another quart, so it has 4 quarts in there now, with what was in the pan previously unknown. So I think that kind of puts me at where Nissan would, you know, if you go through the sequence of filling and flushing, you're putting 3 liters in each time. So I put in an extra like half a quart. So theoretically, it should drain out like 16 ounces. Not 16. Yeah, 16 ounces. And it should be right there where it needs to be. So, guess we'll find out. So, hopefully the next part of this video will be driving the car. In there, I warmed the car up, put it through gears again, and got the temp up to about 104. And when I initially removed the plug or the filler hole, it did spill out quite a bit, but then it started drizzling down to like just like barely a drizzle. So I used my finger to cap it temporarily, and then remove my finger till the point where it just was kind of just like not drizzle, but more like a little drip, and then put the plug back in, and took it for a test ride. So I took it around for about 5 minutes, you know, first kind of like gently going through it. Definitely shifts a lot stiffer, and it downshifts a lot quicker. The only problem I have with it seems to be a little off when it's trying to shift in higher RPM. So I think it might need some tuning. I'm going to try to schedule a time with my tuner and talk to John at IPT about it, and just see what needs to be done there. I know there might be some line pressure increase on the tranny with the tune. Might have to tune that off. So that's where I'm at, but no DTCs. Everything's communicating properly. Transmission has no DCs, so all that's great, considering that was a junkyard transmission and it had to be an exact match. All right, guys. Well, that's it for now for a bit. I guess the next video will probably be at the track. Bye, everyone.